Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, you're still stuck at the same financial level? Or maybe you've wondered why some people seem to effortlessly create immense wealth while others struggle to make ends meet. Today, we are going to explore the concept of the 3 levels of wealth, which will help you understand how wealth truly works and help you identify the wealth level you're currently at. By the end of this video, you will learn how to break through the wealth ceiling and reach the next level of financial growth. Wealth accumulation has been a major focus of human societies for centuries. Some people have enough wealth to live abundantly, while others still struggle to make ends meet, no matter how hard they work. Why is this the case? The answer lies in the different wealth levels that exist. The way we acquire wealth is layered, and recognizing where you are within these layers is the key to finding the most suitable path for your own wealth creation. Today, we'll break down the 3 levels of wealth: selling time, adding assets, and playing with finance. At each of these levels, people can find their position, and understanding how to move from one level to the next is crucial in wealth management and growth. The first level is selling time, which is the most familiar form of wealth accumulation for most people. From the moment we enter society, we trade our time and labor for income. This method seems stable, but it comes with an invisible ceiling. Your time and energy are finite. No matter how hard you work, you can't extend your working hours indefinitely. Although this method provides stable income, the rate at which your wealth grows is far slower than what you'd hope. Selling time is where most of us start. Whether through a regular job or manual labor, your earnings are directly tied to the time you put in. In this stage, your wealth growth is restricted by how much time you can invest, and the income you earn often feels like it's capped. For those at this level, it's not just about working harder or longer hours, it's about recognizing that this model has limitations. Once you reach a point where you feel like you've maxed out your time and effort, you'll start to see the need to shift to the next level: adding assets. The second level is adding assets, which involves accumulating wealth through investments that increase in value over time. This level differs significantly from simply working for a salary. It's about understanding that your wealth doesn't have to be tied to your labor. Instead, wealth can grow through assets like real estate, stocks, and other investments. When you start adding assets to your financial portfolio, you begin to transition away from the time for money trade and into a realm where money works for you. A classic example is real estate investment: buying properties, watching them appreciate in value, and generating rental income. This is wealth accumulation through strategic asset growth. However, just like the selling time model, the adding assets model also has its limitations. Asset appreciation is not guaranteed, and the capital required to purchase assets can be substantial. Plus, you must possess a certain level of financial literacy to make informed decisions about which assets to invest in and when to make your move. This stage still has restrictions because you are continuously reliant on accumulating more assets for wealth expansion. So, what comes after adding assets? The next level is where the real magic happens: playing with finance. The third level is playing with finance. This is where wealth truly accelerates. At this stage, wealth creation is no longer about simply accumulating assets or relying on your labor. It's about mastering capital management, financial markets, and leveraging financial instruments to exponentially grow your wealth. People who operate at the playing with finance level are not just making money from their own labor or from the increase in value of their investments. They use financial tools such as leveraging, borrowing, and sophisticated market strategies to maximize their returns. Financial markets, including stocks, bonds, options, and even private equity investments, become the main vehicles for wealth multiplication. At this stage, wealth creation involves a deep understanding of financial markets, economic indicators, and advanced strategies for managing risk and maximizing returns. For many high-net-worth individuals, their wealth is not just a product of personal labor or asset accumulation, but of strategic capital management. This is where people truly break through the wealth ceiling by moving beyond traditional wealth-building models and into the realm of complex financial operations. For now, the question remains, how do you break through these levels and reach the next stage? The answer lies in both mindset and action. The first key shift comes when you move from selling time to adding assets. This transition happens when you accumulate enough savings or capital to begin investing in assets. It's about recognizing that, in order to grow wealth faster, you need to let your money work for you. This might include purchasing real estate, starting a business, or investing in the stock market. Once you begin adding assets to your portfolio, you are no longer limited by your working hours. You open yourself up to exponential growth. Next, moving from adding assets to playing with finance requires a deeper understanding of how capital works. It's about understanding the power of leverage, how financial markets operate, and how to strategically position your capital. At this level, wealth is not just about holding assets, it's about making smart, informed decisions with the tools at your disposal. This involves a higher level of financial knowledge and risk management. You start using financial leverage, derivatives, and market movements to boost your wealth potential. This progression from one level to the next is not instantaneous. It requires time, effort, and most importantly, education. The most successful individuals at each wealth level didn't reach their positions by accident. They invested in themselves, learning about personal finance, investment strategies, and capital management. The more you learn, the more confident you will become in your ability to navigate these levels. Breaking through the wealth ceiling is a gradual process, and it requires shifting your mindset. The first step is realizing that your current level of wealth is just one phase of the journey. Moving forward means understanding that wealth doesn't have to be tied to the number of hours you work. Instead, wealth can grow exponentially through strategic investments and smart financial decisions. In conclusion, breaking through the wealth ceiling involves understanding where you are in these three levels and then taking deliberate steps to move to the next stage. Whether you are still in the selling time phase, progressing to adding assets, or ready to dive into playing with finance, there are clear strategies to help you reach the next level of wealth. The journey is not easy, but by consistently educating yourself, making informed decisions, and leveraging the power of capital, you can break through the limitations and achieve the financial success you've always desired. As we continue exploring the concept of breaking through the wealth ceiling, it's important to take a step back and understand why wealth creation often feels like a distant goal. Many people find themselves stuck in a cycle where they feel like they're not progressing no matter how hard they work. This is often due to the limitations of the model they're operating within. To break free from this cycle and achieve sustainable financial growth, it's crucial to move from the conventional approaches to wealth creation and embrace the more strategic, less conventional methods that led to lasting prosperity. At the core of breaking through the wealth ceiling is a simple truth: wealth doesn't come solely from what you do with your time, it comes from what you do with your money. This means shifting your mindset from one of scarcity, where you feel like there's never enough, to one of abundance, where you recognize that there are endless opportunities to grow your wealth if you're willing to take calculated risks and make informed decisions. The journey to financial freedom isn't about finding a quick fix or a magic formula, it's about gradual, consistent, and strategic steps. One of the most important concepts in breaking the wealth ceiling is understanding the difference between earning money through your labor and having money work for you. This shift in thinking is essential if you want to move from being an impami or a small-time entrepreneur to becoming someone who plays at the highest level of wealth creation. When you move from selling time to adding assets, you open the door to wealth that isn't limited by your hours work. For example, investing in stocks, bonds, real estate, or even building a portfolio of digital assets can generate income without requiring your direct involvement on a day-to-day basis. By diversifying your investments, you create multiple income streams, all of which are working for you, even while you sleep. However, one of the biggest challenges at this stage is overcoming the fear of risk. Many people hesitate to invest because they are afraid of losing money. They're conditioned to think that if they don't have a guaranteed return, they should avoid the investment. But here's the truth. Risk is an inherent part of wealth creation. The key is to manage risk, not avoid it altogether. Understanding how to diversify your investments, research the market, and apply strategic decision-making can help mitigate risks and increase the likelihood of successful returns. The transition from adding assets to playing with finance is the point where true financial mastery begins. At this level, you're not just relying on traditional assets like real estate or stocks, you're learning how to leverage capital in ways that multiply your wealth exponentially. This can include using financial instruments such as options, futures, and derivatives, or engaging in more complex strategies like private equity investments. These strategies require a high level of financial literacy and an understanding of how markets operate. One of the most significant benefits of moving into the playing with finance stage is the ability to leverage other people's money. This could mean taking out loans at favorable interest rates to invest in high-return opportunities, or even partnering with other investors to take on larger ventures that would be out of reach individually. Leverage, when used wisely, can dramatically increase the potential return on your investments. However, it's important to remember that leveraging also increases risk, so it must be approached with caution and careful planning. In the world of high-level wealth creation, the key to success is not just about managing risks but actively seeking out and creating opportunities. The wealthy don't wait for opportunities to come to them, they go out and create them. They invest in emerging markets, start businesses in high-demand sectors, and find innovative ways to maximize their returns. They understand that wealth is not static, it's dynamic, and it's constantly moving. To stay ahead of the curve, they must continuously learn, adapt, and innovate. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to always have the right opportunities at the right time, the truth is that they've cultivated an ability to spot these opportunities before they become obvious to others. Wealth creation, particularly at the playing with finance level, is about taking a proactive approach to investing. The most successful individuals don't just react to changes in the market, they anticipate them. They have an intrinsic understanding of how global trends and local conditions will impact their wealth, and position themselves accordingly. But how do you start implementing these high-level strategies? The first step is to increase your financial knowledge. Many people think they don't need to understand the complexities of finance because they believe that just earning a stable income will be enough. However, this is far from the truth. In today's fast-paced, ever-changing financial world, it's essential to educate yourself on key concepts like diversification, risk management, and capital allocation. The more knowledge you have, the more confident you'll feel in making decisions that align with your financial goals. One excellent way to start is by reading books, taking courses, and surrounding yourself with experts who can guide you. Wealth creation at the highest levels doesn't happen in isolation. It requires a network of knowledgeable individuals who can provide insights and guidance. Whether it's attending seminars, joining investment groups, or learning from a mentor, the more exposure you have to different strategies and perspectives, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions. Another critical component of wealth creation is mindset. The wealthiest individuals have a mindset that is fundamentally different from the average person's. They see challenges as opportunities, not obstacles. They don't fear failure, but they embrace it as part of the learning process. This mindset shift is often the key to breaking through the wealth ceiling. It's about taking bold actions, pushing past self-doubt, and recognizing that every setback is simply a lesson that brings you closer to success. Moreover, successful wealth builders tend to have long-term thinking. They don't chase quick wins. Instead, they invest for the future, understanding that true wealth takes time to accumulate. They are patient, disciplined, and strategic in their approach. This long-term mindset allows them to ride out the inevitable ups and downs of the market, staying focused on their end goals without being distracted by short-term fluctuations. One final aspect of breaking through the wealth ceiling is understanding the importance of giving back. As you move through the levels of wealth, you will encounter more opportunities to give back to others, whether through charitable donations, creating job opportunities, or mentoring others. Wealth isn't just about accumulation, it's about impact. The most successful individuals understand that wealth is a tool for creating positive change in the world. They give back, not just to boost their own wealth, but to make a difference in the lives of others. In conclusion, breaking through the wealth ceiling is a multi-step process that involves shifting from selling time to adding assets, and finally, to playing with finance. It requires a combination of financial knowledge, risk management, and a mindset that embraces opportunities and challenges. The road to wealth is not linear, but with the right strategies, mindsets, and education, you can move past the limitations that once held you back and reach new heights of financial success. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this has helped you understand how you can begin to break through the wealth ceiling and reach new financial levels. Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who may benefit from this information. Together, we can all reach new heights of financial freedom. Until next time, take care, and remember, the journey to financial success is a marathon, not a sprint, but every step you take brings you closer to your goals.